I first noticed her on a morning I almost skipped the park. It was one of those rushed days. Late alarm, cold coffee, emails already waiting. But something made me take the long path anyway. The one that curves along the lake and passes under the old maple tree. That's where she was. A girl with auburn hair tied loosely, head bent over a sketchbook, completely unaware of the world. The sunlight was dripping through the leaves above her, casting a warm glow on her face. And for a moment, everything around her felt still. I don't know why I slowed down. Maybe it was the concentration in her eyes, or the way her pencil moved with quiet purpose. But the world felt softer around her, calmer. Right as I walked by, a breeze swept through the park. Her sketchbook fluttered, pages flipping like wings, and slipped off her lap. I picked it up before she reached for it. She looked up at me, a bit startled at first. Then she smiled. Not the polite kind. Not the thank you stranger kind. It was warm, familiar. Like she was smiling from a place deeper than the moment itself. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was soft but steady, like she wasn't used to needing help but wasn't too proud to accept it. I handed the sketchbook back, and for a split second, our fingers brushed. Accidental, nothing dramatic, but there was a quiet spark, a kind of recognition I couldn't explain. I walked away, but her smile stayed with me longer than it should have. The next day, I saw her again. Same spot, same maple tree. This time wearing headphones, swaying lightly to a rhythm only she could hear. I don't even know why I kept looking over. Maybe I hoped she'd look back. She didn't, not that day. But 2 mornings later she did, and she waved. A small wave, almost shy but genuine. "Morning," she said. I stopped running. That's how it started. Not in a dramatic moment, not with some grand gesture, but in the small, gentle ways people drift into your life without asking for permission. Over the next few weeks, we spoke a little more each day. Her name was Elara. She sketched anything that moved her. Old trees, stray dogs, a kid feeding ducks, even shadows on the ground. She had this way of seeing beauty in things most of us walk past without noticing. One morning she asked, "Do you want to sit for a sketch?" I laughed. "You want to draw me?" "Why?" She shrugged. "You look like someone who carries too much in your head." I didn't know how to answer that, so I just sat down. It was peaceful, sitting under that maple tree, listening to the pencil glide across the page. Sometimes we talked, sometimes we didn't, but the silence never felt uncomfortable. That's when I first noticed it. Her right hand, steady, graceful, but her left hand, a small tremor, barely there unless you were close enough to see. She tried to hide it, adjusting her posture, switching hands quickly when she thought I wasn't looking. I pretended not to notice. People deserve dignity more than explanations. One evening, I saw her again, long after sunset, the sky already fading into blue. She was sitting on a bench near the lake, watching the water. I offered to walk her home. She hesitated, but she agreed. We walked slowly, the way people do when they're not ready to say goodbye. But something felt off. She was unusually quiet, as if wrestling with something she didn't want to say. Then I noticed it. A wheelchair, folded neatly beside the bench where she'd been sitting. I stopped. She saw my expression. And that's when everything shifted. Her jaw tightened. Her eyes hardened, not in anger, but in a kind of exhausted fear, the fear of being misunderstood. "If you're going to look at me like that," she said, "you don't have to walk me home." I opened my mouth, but she kept going. "I don't want pity. I've had enough of it to last a lifetime." Her voice didn't crack. It didn't break, but there was pain behind it, and strength. A lot of strength. I sat down beside her, unsure of what to say. After a moment, she whispered, 2 years ago, I was in a car accident. Spinal cord injury. They told me I wouldn't walk at all. She exhaled. But I do. Not well. Not every day, but I do. She tapped her legs lightly. Some days they work with me. Some days they betray me. But they're mine. And I'm still learning how to live with that. The wind was cold that night, but her words carried warmth, a wounded kind, but real. I didn't know, I said quietly. I know, she replied. And that's why I told you. We walked home slowly after that, her pushing the wheelchair while leaning on me just enough to find balance, but not enough to feel fragile. From that night on, things changed. Not in a dramatic way, in the small ways that matter. I started waking up earlier just to sit with her under the maple tree. Some mornings she walked on her own, counting each step like a silent victory. Other mornings she sketched while her wheelchair stayed quietly beside her, a companion she didn't resent, just accepted. I admired her more than I admitted. Her resilience wasn't loud. It wasn't inspirational in the way social media likes to package people. It was quiet, steady, a kind of strength you only notice when you're close enough to see the effort behind it. One afternoon, as autumn brushed gold across the park, she handed me a drawing. It was me, sitting under the maple tree, looking at her. Below it she'd written, "Strength is not the absence of struggle. It's choosing to live anyway." I didn't know what to say, so I just looked at her, and for the first time, she didn't look away. Months passed. Winter came and went, and then spring. Elara decided to host her first art exhibition, a small gallery, nothing extravagant, but every wall held pieces filled with emotion deeper than words could hold. Her drawings weren't about disability. They were about rediscovery, of movement, of identity, of self-worth. When she walked into the gallery with her cane, the room went silent. Not out of pity, out of awe. She glowed. When she spotted me across the room, she smiled the same warm, familiar smile she had the very first day. Except this time, she looked stronger, freer. Later that night, when the crowd thinned and the lights softened, she walked over to me. "You didn't stay because you felt obligated," she said quietly. "You stayed because you saw me." She was right. I saw her, not just her injury, not just her strength, not just her talent. I saw the whole person, the whole story, and she had seen me too, the parts of me I never said out loud. Today, whenever I pass the old maple tree, even when she's not there, I still slow down. Not out of nostalgia or sadness, out of respect. Because the strongest people I've ever met aren't the ones who stand the tallest. They're the ones who stand again, even when life knocks them to their knees. And sometimes, they're the ones sitting quietly under a tree, sketching the world as they learn how to move through it again.